Today, I'm going to talk about something that it builds on what we talked about the last a few videos ago in terms of setting the foundation that parents are unsafe and abusive, and that's largely set through school counselors, social workers, the mental health apparatus in your K through 12. It's setting the tone that if you as parents don't have the right woke ideology, especially if you don't believe your child can be born in the wrong body, if you don't subscribe to transgenderism, then you are unsafe and abusive. And so what I wanted to show you today is a tool where we show you all the rhetoric that will be used to justify coming after if you're homeschool. Okay, whether you homeschool or you do co-ops, things of that nature. This tool will help you recognize the rhetoric when they are in your state. Coming after homeschool, states like Illinois are already trying to pass bills, of course, like California, and they're always going to be the crystal ball of the rest of the nation, setting the tone that parents don't know, but the public schools know, even though they literally can't teach kids to read at a third grade level. So they have shown how incompetent they are over the last 25 years, especially the last 10, but they want to say, but we know better than the homeschoolers. But that's not the point. The point is that they don't think they can educate your children better. What they can do is they can indoctrinate your children better. That's what they mean. So this profile, he was on X. Obviously, he's an educator. They say he's an educator, artist, pronouns they, them, out of Florida. So right off the bat, you know this is a degenerate. Okay, so let's go through how he talks about parents. And now when you're reading this, okay, I'm just going to read you a few of them. I'm not going to read you every single one, but you can obviously download it and read it for yourself. You'll get the idea just reading a few. I want you to keep this in mind when we're going through this. Don't go, well, yeah, this guy is just one mentally ill degenerate, they, them, transgender freak. That would be a mistake if that's the mindset you have when I'm reading this, his words. While that is true, okay, where that is true, that's exactly what he is, okay? His rhetoric is what the school counselors, social worker, child protective services, foster care system, your superintendents associations, principals associations, school board association, teachers unions, obviously American School Counselor Association, which we just released a big report on them last week. All of them believe what he believes. Okay, all these swamp organization, EdSource, and whatever, all these education websites, they all believe what he believes. I want to be very clear about that. There is not going to be anybody in the ecosystem of K through 12 where when you show them that, they're going to go, that's disgusting. I'm 100% in disagreement with him. Okay. They may not, they may not be as on the nose, depending on where you live and, you know, what district you're in. But and a lot of districts are all that on the nose. Okay. But the point is, they all see the same standards or same foundation using the same standards that he is using. Okay. So I want you to keep that's a very important distinction. Okay. Parents are abusers. Parents who have the most access to their children are controlling and grooming their own children. Okay. This is the same argument that's going to be used to come after homeschools and just home visits. Okay. You're wrong. Let's just read through a couple of stuff. You're wrong. The reason kids get groomed and abused is because they don't have safe spaces from their parents. People that are isolated and alone are easy to abuse. You understand that? You see, if you want to homeschool your kids and you want to keep them away from a government institution, it's because you want to isolate your children and they have no one to talk to. Tell parents to stop grooming them and isolating them from their peers. If you don't allow your kids around their peers who are groomed on TikTok and social media, then you're isolating them. That's what he's saying. You're isolating them. Think about who has the most access to a minor, who has the most legal control over them, and who has the biggest motivation to maintain that control. It isn't teachers or drag queens, it's conservative parents. You see, this is how he equates. Drag queens and teachers love your kids and have the best and want the best for them, but not you as a conservative parent if you're teaching your kids conservative values. You're making the assumption that parents are never complicit in abusing or grooming their kids. On the contrary, it's the fact that they have such a privileged legal position in their children's lives that it makes it easier to abuse them. If you have kids and you're legally in charge of them, that gives you all the right in the world. Okay. Sexualized elementary school, comprehensive sex education, pornographic books, drag queen performances, story hours. Elementary students should get comprehensive sex education. There's a correlation between teen pregnancy and STIs and lack of sex education. What he means, he doesn't mean birds and the bees. He doesn't mean, hey, if it's not your mom or a doctor checking you up, nobody should touch you down there. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about comprehensive sex ed, which I'll show you. We'll do a video on this tomorrow. It's about introducing your children to every single perversion you can ever think of, okay, and every sexual orientation you can think of. If you're referring to parents paranoid that other people might be grooming kids, and yes, we should be skeptical of TERFs, transphobes, and other hateful bigots that make their children's lives hell in the name of political ideology. The parents are the ones grooming their kids, particularly the ones obsessed with the sexuality of their own children. What he's saying is, if you don't think your child's born in the wrong body, then you're obsessed with that. You're obsessed with your children's sexuality. Just let them be who they want to be. This one's good. It's not a straw man while he goes and does a straw man. It's not a straw man. It's exactly what you are arguing. You think parents should know 100% what is happening. I'm sure rapists will like to know exactly what their victims are saying too. This piece of shit is saying that if you as a parent want to know everything that's being said and taught to your children, it's like a rapist that wants to know what his victim is saying. You don't seem to understand. It is a teacher's job to protect vulnerable students from their abusive parents. Would you tip off some rapists instead of getting the authorities involved? Why violate the trust of a student by being a snitch? Kids should feel safe having some degree of privacy from their parents. If they don't feel safe coming out to their parents, it shouldn't be on the teachers to snitch on them. So you get the point. Minors can consent to medical procedures. Acting like giving teens binders is such a huge problem. Is a hot air. Okay. So I think you get the point here.